So we've returned for the Fairy Tail anime. I think it's safe now. I think we're not going to get no more episodes of Lucy being attacked by mayonnaise. Thank goodness, because it was unbearable. But we're back. We got a new opening, a new ending, and we're back to the canon material. So yeah, let's talk about these latest two episodes since we returned to the good stuff of Fairy Tail. Now for starters, the opening. I like it a lot. I like the song. I like what it represents. A lot of spoils. So spoiler alert with that opening, but it's a freaking good opening. But I really, for some reason, fell in love with the ending song. The new ending song, really catchy. Really like it. I don't know what it is. I just really like that song a lot. So yeah, opening, dope. Really like it. Ending, I really like the song. Visuals is it's whatever. It's just like close-ups of tits and shit like that. Don't really care. So yeah. So for the first episode back, I think that was like episode 50. First half of it was a lot of padding. Honestly, felt pretty useless. A lot of in-canon filler, like bathtub scenes and them doing silly stuff, and it's like it's funny or whatever, but we really didn't get to the meat of things up until we finally find out what's the mission that they gotta go on, whatever, where Makarov sends them out. So yeah, a big chunk of that episode was just it was just like, it was funny, I guess, and some of it was canon, but they were stretching things out. And what the fuck is up with Freed? When the fuck did Freed become super gay for Locke? Just like, I had no idea. Like beats me, right? Or he wants to beat Loxus. Yeah, we'll forget that ever happened. And then we get to meet Warred, which I was kind of like, okay, I remember when I read in the manga and I've seen in the anime, and I kind of liked his personality in a way, although it creeped the fuck out of me. It's like, he was a super troll about everything, but he's so creepy, and then he has like a tree for a head, so it just, I don't know. And either way, really, again, the episode really didn't kick off up until the end with the Warred stuff and kind of finding out his little mission about the ice and whatnot. So that episode, it got alright towards the end. It was 5.5 for that particular episode. I was just really glad it was the end, where we got the flashback of Warren and how Fairy Tail started with him, Mavis, and some of the other people. It was just, I don't know, it was kind of heartwarming, I guess, and it kind of gave a little more insight into how things began, which once again gets me hyped to go read Fairy Tail Zero, because I read like, I want to say 4 or 5 chapters, 3 or 4 chapters, something along the lines of that, of Fairy Tail Zero, and it was really good, but I just haven't kept up with it. But yeah, that definitely got me hyped to read that again, because it's just like, a lot of shit happened back then, I can imagine, and just the way it's had that feeling and that music and everything, that was the best scene, and just kind of got me excited. Now for the next episode, I was kind of surprised that they did like a longish recap. Like, the episode didn't start until 4 minutes, and we got to see, or we had to see yet again, some of the scenes from the last week's episode. So I don't know if Fairy Tail's really trying to slow things down, so we never got to go back to filler, which I'm fine with that, because that filler was absolute garbage. And with this episode, we actually got progression. They got to the Sun Village. Ward sent them away, so good stuff in the Sun Village stuff. Now, I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I don't care. It really feels like those 3 treasure hunters are kind of parodies of One Piece characters. Like the one dude that kept on saying only one word, that's definitely Frankie. He even has a hand that looks similar to Frankie, and he's saying one word in English similar to how Frankie says super. And I don't know if this is just that Hiro is joking around. Him and Oda could be friends, maybe they could be rivals, maybe they don't like each other, I don't know, but I'm calling it as I see it. That was supposed to be Frankie. The dude with the sword was supposed to be Zoro, and the other dude was a sniper, was supposed to be Usopp, and it was kind of parroting them or whatever, except these dudes is crusty as shit. And let's be real here, Frankie, Zoro, and Usopp, come on, stop it. Especially Zoro. You can't deny that Zoro's epic as fuck. So, like, just stop, okay? The parody, it's not working, bro. And reintroductions to Minerva. She's not done, which I love Minerva, especially when she's on her evil, manipulative shit. Good shit seeing her there. The other dude kind of gets you a little bit curious. Of course, I know from the manga, but definitely gets you a little bit more like, okay, so this seemingly is the next threat that they gotta face. And honestly, if you look at this kind of gives me a little bit of a feel of the early Fairy Tail, especially when they're referencing like Galuna Island and Moon Drip and stuff like that. It felt like it was still having that episodic feel, but also having an ongoing feel as well, because it's like a new mission, you see them on the train, and it kind of even had me reminisce a little bit of like Fairy Tail opening 1 when they're on the train and all this other stuff from like the previous episode and this episode, and it just really gave me that vibe of like, oh man, this feels like early Fairy Tail, just going on different missions, and you know, just a very lighthearted and fun feel. But it starts reintroducing things as it goes along, and like making this whole big element. And of course, it's interesting that Natsu and Gray both had to go on this mission, which Warred is a wise guy, even though he trolls a lot, so it must be for some major particular reason. And then we got that setup at the end with the cliffhanger of Erza getting turned into a little kid, so something is afoot on this island. And this episode, it was a fine to, like, I'd say anywhere from 6.5 to a 7 for this episode. Just glad that things is getting moving. I'm not the biggest fan of this arc. I thought this arc, again, and you will see in due time, I think this arc is going to be alright. One of the best things that I think the anime is doing, though, is it's making the art and animation very, very pretty. Keep that up. Let's look very, very pretty from here on out. And yeah, it just feels good to be back. Again, last episode, or the first episode back, 5-ish, somewhere along the lines of that. The following episode, about 6.5 to a 7. Fine, getting off the ground and getting things moving, which is good, getting into the next mission. But let me know what you guys think. First of all, are you excited that Fairy Tail's back to canon? It is safe to watch Fairy Tail, guys, I promise. Although, you know, Fairy Tail has its problems in and of itself, so we won't go there. And what do you think of the new opening and ending that we have now, especially the opening, because, again, it has a lot of information in there. But that's all I have for this review. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And then if you haven't subscribed, if you could do so as well, that'd be amazing. I'm Fineb World, and as always, people, have an awesome day.